Okay, so today I wanted to share a little live pro tip that's mostly for winds and strings. This is a little different for my channel because I'm usually talking about piano stuff. But for people who don't know, piano is more sort of my secondary instrument. These days, I would consider it my primary instrument. It's the instrument that I gig on the most now. But I didn't start piano until my late 20s after my music degree, where my primary instrument was trumpet. These days, I actually make an effort not to take trumpet gigs if I can avoid it, for various reasons. But my wife, who is a woodwinds doubler, showed me this meme the other day, and I thought it was funny. And it's something that I think most wind and string players will relate to, and it's funnier probably for those people who are in those kinds of ensembles. Pianists might run into this every once in a while, but it's not part of their daily life the way it is for winds and strings. So I have a solution. So as soon as a conductor passes out the piece of music and we're going to read it down for the first time, I'm looking for these multi-measure rests. And when I get there, I start counting. Now, obviously everybody's counting, but I am specifically listening for the phrases. It's just a real basic understanding of form. And, mostly you're listening for these 8-bar phrases where these specific cadences happen and the music kind of changes. If you're not really good at it, just listen. It's really tropey, honestly. For a lot of music, you're going to have 4-bar antecedent, 4-bar consequent phrase. There's your 8-bar phrase. With experience, you stop almost even counting, and you just feel the phrase numbers. Really similar to, the way jazz players are they're feeling the changes as the music's going by. They're not sitting there counting. They're listening for the changes. But basically, I'm counting, and I'm penciling it in real quick. 8 bars, count. 10 bars, count. 8 bars. So I have the length of my phrases that are within that multi-measure rest. Now, don't miss your entrance. With experience, you won't run into this, and so you won't get yelled at the conductor for missing your entrance. But, be doing the math as you're going along. So you've got 8 and 10. It's like, okay, that's 18. And then you're counting. Make sure that you're not getting too close as you add those numbers together to the total of that multi-measure rest and miss your entrance. If it takes you a couple of, passes through that section in rehearsal to get it fine, you take some time and make sure you're getting your numbers right and double check them. But then whenever the conductor is inevitably working with another section, that is when I will go back and start cleaning things up. So I'll basically draw my own multi-measure rest over the top of the large multi-measure rest. So I'll put my brackets, I'll draw the bar across, and then I'll start subdividing it like a number line, and then I can put in the phrases that I counted. So I've got 8 bars here, and I got 10 bars here, and 8 bars here. You're just writing in the in between those little hashes that you put. And then, whenever you've got the time, start doing the math, figure out where what measure number each set of phrases start at. And now you've solved the problem in the meme. If the conductor asks you to start somewhere in the middle of 70 bars of rest, you know where that's at. Usually they're not thinking about every section. That's just, you can't do that as a conductor, and you don't realize that the trumpets, need to start in the middle of a 70 measure rest. So you can make this even better. So you've got the numbers in there, but now start listening for entrances of different instruments. That's going to save you a lot of trouble. So it's like, oh, okay, the oboes come in here, and the strings come in here. Oh, the trombones come in 8 bars before my entrance. And that's the one that's the real lifesaver, is figuring out who comes in 8 or 4 or 2 bars before you're supposed to come in. So really, you don't have to count until that instrument enters. But having the other ones marked is really helpful, because if the whole ensemble's rehearsing, you're a little anxious that you're in the middle of these rests and you're like, did the trombones miss their entrance, or am I just spacing out? What's going on? You can still be checking that everybody else has made their entrances. You can kind of be paying attention. It's like, oh, the oboes made it in, oh, the strings made it in, this trombone should come up next. You start to get a feel for it, and you don't have to be so worried about it. It is a little dangerous to trust other people, because if they miss their entrance and then you miss your entrance, that is a mess. But for the most part, this is going to save so many headaches. And once everybody's more confident, it's great. And in theater, you get to where you early on in rehearsals, you're not counting anything because you're listening for that one entrance. And then, usually for those kinds of things, by the time the show's happening, you're not even, you're not counting at all. People are in the pit reading their book. and they just almost instinctively like get their horn up at the last second and make their entrance and make the conductor very nervous. But no, this should save you a lot of frustration. So hopefully that was helpful to somebody.